Hey everybody, what's happening? All right, first off, I want to give a shout out to some good friends of mine. I want to say hi to my buddy Barrett and her brothers, Chuck and Reggie. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you all soon. Barrett, you take care of them boys, all right? We know you're the boss. All right, let's get to the real deal here. Let's talk about a little country called Iran. Anybody heard anything going on over there lately? No? All right then. Just kidding. Hey, so everybody's crying about the price of gas going up. It's over $4 a gallon now, you know. And I tell them, it's like, where were you when gas went over $5 a gallon when Joe Biden was president? Well, that was different. How the heck was that different? That's the most I've ever paid for a gallon of gas in my life, man, in the Midwest. And that was crazy, man. California, yes. Everything's always more expensive out there. I lived there for years. But, you know, it was up to $8 a gallon in California. Yeah, when Joe Biden was in there. There was no outrage, though. Weird. I'll tell you this, though. On this day, 14 years ago, 2012, I paid $4.09 for a gallon of gas. Why? Barack Obama was president then. This was a guy who came in, and in his first term, he said, I'm going to cut the deficit in half. In 3 months, it almost doubled. That man was put in there to destroy this nation, man. And I don't care what you say. That man's evil. That man's corrupt. How did he make millions of dollars off just being president for a few years? You know, all these guys are like that, but he was bad. He destroyed this nation. He didn't do anything for the poor people, didn't do anything for the black community. He actually was in charge of the highest tax increase in the history of America. Remember the Affordable Care Act? The only reason it got upheld? Because it was the largest tax increase ever. It was considered a tax. So here's the deal. Hey, you're poor. You don't have insurance, you got to buy my health insurance from the government. All right. And if you don't have it, well, we're going to fine you. What the heck was that? And everybody's like, oh, I'm getting health insurance. Yeah, you're getting crap health insurance. You got to pay for it. And if you don't have it, you got fined. Y'all stupid, man. That's what's wrong with this country. People are stupid. So right now, you got a little country named Iran. I prefer to call it Persia because when it was Persia, there was better things going on with it. But everybody talks about the price of gas being up, and it's all Trump's fault. Everything Trump does is wrong. Trump could cure cancer, and there are people out protesting. They'd be like, we have a right to have cancer. Hey, I mean, seriously, that's how a lot of people are. He could mail you all $10,000 checks, and you'd still complain. You'd be like, well, I didn't get mine until Thursday. My neighbor got his on Tuesday. That's not right. You got a free check, you bum. You know, that's how people are, man. I really believe that the TDS is a real disease, man. Some of these people trip me out with some of the things they say and do about him. Do I love the guy? No. He says some stupid stuff. He does some stupid stuff. But he also does some good stuff. And I don't care who's in office. If you do good, I'll give you credit. You do bad, I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to blast you for it, man. The only problem is most of these people I blast get praised. And they're usually the worst. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? How are you so blind you don't see this stuff, man? Let me tell you about why our oil is up. All right, let's start off on Iran here. Let's go. All right. Do you know how much money, do you know how much oil the United States gets from Iran? Do anybody know that? Anybody? You there in the back, how much? None. Yeah, good answer, little girl. That 4-year-old girl sitting in the back knew about it. She knew we got none. You know, my little buddy Barrett, who will be listening to this, I'm sure, will know that we don't get hardly any oil from Iran. What they do is they sell it to lots of other countries. You know who gets most of their oil from them? You know who gets 80% of their oil from them? Is China. That's why China's upset. We attacked Iran. Yes, because Iran has been a threat to this country, other countries in the Middle East for, well, about 55 years now, I think. 45 years? Let me do some math real quick. Yeah, been a long time, man. You know? It's been a long time. Let me put it that way. think 47 years, something. I don't remember, man. But anyway, since 79, let's go there. They've been a big threat to this country for a long, long time, man. And, it all started way back in the day when Iran became a country. Well, they were already a country, but they went from Persia, which they'd been for thousands of years. Historically, they've been Persia. Then they changed it to Iran. The word Iran means Aryan. So when you hear people in America or somebody talking about the Aryan nation and stuff, they're stupid. Aryan doesn't mean white. It's a term for white now, but it doesn't mean that. It basically means, it's their nature, their land. It's them. And that's why they changed it to Iran, Aryan. And when they took over and switched it up, they put the Sharia law, and Muslims took over and were in charge. Now, certain factions of nations around the world saw that this was not a good thing. So they went in there and they reset the government and did a little business, you know what I mean? Little under the table, behind the scenes, took out a few people and stuff like this, and they put some good people in charge. And it was that way for a long time. And what was going on, it was like Iran was like any other nation in the world for the most part. They were a lot like the United States. The women could go to college. The women could walk down the street in a skirt, in a dress. They didn't have to wear hijab or face coverings. Women had equal rights. They could go to the beach. I mean, they didn't have as equal rights because they were still in the Muslim faith, and there's a little difference there with the way they treat their women than we do. But, they could go to the beach and wear a bikini and not get beat up for it. I mean, things were a lot different then. And it was like a normal nation. And you could go back and look and see pictures and video of this. It was no big deal, And then the Ayatollah, he took over, and he got a whole group of people because they didn't like that. They wanted Sharia law. And they got rid of the Shah of Iran in 79, and he had to escape, and he made it to our country, and they held a lot of our people hostages, and they held them hostage for a long time. So there was 66 Americans. There was other civilian personnel. They were diplomats. They were taken hostage at our embassy over there, and 52 of them were held until, it was like 1981, so it was not quite 2 years. It was about a year and a half or so, but that's a long time to hold people hostages, abuse them, misuse them. A lot of people will say, well, they did really good because they let the black people go because they knew what they've gone through in America. And I'm like, okay, that's no reason to keep other people hostage. Yes, okay, that was nice of them. They didn't let all the black people go. They kept a couple. They probably thought they could get something for them because that's how they are. And they totally took over the country. They implemented Sharia law. Now, while our hostages were there, Jimmy Carter was president at this time. Most of the countries around the world did not care for Carter. He did not get much respect from a lot of people. He didn't do anything good for this country. I don't even know how he got elected president. I've never figured that one out. I remember when he ran, and I'm like, who's voting for this guy? But a lot of people liked him because he was a Christian, and they thought, oh, he's going to change the world. And, of course, he was a Democrat, so that's what most people do. They vote party lines. He didn't do anything good for this country. Anyway, he organized a group to go in there and try to rescue him, and it failed miserably because he did not know what he was doing. He did not work with the military right. The planes he sent in couldn't handle the desert. I mean, didn't his advisors help him or tell him anything like that? So, it's just awful, man. But we finally got the people back. Now, many people think we're going after Iran now and have had problems with Iran because of their oil. But like I said, we don't get any oil from them. Well, yeah, but if we take over Iran, we control that oil. True, but we're not going to take over Iran. What we want is Iran to quit with their nuclear capability that they've been trying to build up for years And also, we want them to overturn the Sharia law and let the people be free and equal. And it's funny because once they started doing the uprising over there and started getting the protests going, there are people glorifying Trump. There's people in Iran waving the old Persian flag, and they're waving Israel flags because Israel's helping. Israel wants freedom over there for them, you know? And it's like Israel doesn't get oil from them either. Israel gets their oil from other places, for the record. So they're over there, and these people are like, we want freedom. That's all they want. They want to be free and equal. What happens? Nothing. They kill their people. They've killed at least 50,000 people that we know of. It's probably more. They've literally killed them in the streets, ran over them with tanks, ran over them with vehicles. They've hanged them in public. They recently just hanged, I can't remember his name, but I think he was a professional wrestler on their Olympic team over there. And they hanged him because he wasn't giving in to what they said. He was sticking up for the people. They didn't like that. That's how it is over there. That's how it is, man. And they have got nuclear capability. Don't let them fool you. They've had it for years. Back in the day, they wanted nuclear capability, and the reason they said they wanted it, and the people, a lot of countries don't want them to have it because they know they'll use it, and they are kind of terrorist. And they basically came right out and said, we want to blow Israel off the face of the earth. When we get nuclear capability, we're going to destroy Israel. Now, this was in the 90s, and they were getting some money from certain presidents. Oh, boy. And we'll get to that in a minute. And one day they were close to having nuclear capability, and they went to test their stuff, and everything shut down. Somebody hacked the system. Somebody hacked the system over there, wiped out their system, put them behind by a couple of years, and the last thing they saw, and this is from Iran. This is what they said. The last thing they saw was a Magen David symbol. It popped up, the Star of David. That's right. The Israel, Judah, Star of David popped up and disappeared. That's the last thing they saw, and the system shut down. Love it. Love it. Now, they might have said that just to get people to hate Israel and the Jews, but then again, who do you think was behind shutting them down? I mean, I ain't going to say much about that, but we know who was behind it. We know what happened. I'm not allowed to say much about that. I'm going to skip forward now to something else. We're going to talk about the oil pricing going up because of what's going on with Iran. Well, I'll tell you what, like I said earlier, it's still cheaper than when Biden was in office. It's still cheaper now than when Obama was in office. And that was 14 years ago. So you would think with the economy and inflation, it'd be a lot higher than now. So does it suck? A little bit. Why is it higher? Why is it higher if we don't get oil from them? You want to know why it's higher? Because the oil companies that run in America know they can raise it. And they know most people are stupid. They have to pay for it. They have to have it. And they know most people won't question it. And most people are blaming Trump. The TDS is strong with a lot of people. It's all Trump's fault. And then I say, well, when it was $5 for no reason, what did you complain? Well, that was different. Yeah. Joe Biden inherited that from Trump. I'm like, okay, he inherited $2.50 a gallon gas and turned it into $5-6 a gallon. And they shut up real quick because they don't have to say. And then they usually start with their name calling. I'm amazed at grown people, grown adults, and their name calling about stupid stuff, man. It's just crazy, man. Now they're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, and that's where the oil ships come through. That's where the ships come through. They're letting some ships through, but they're not letting some through. And it's kind of like, it's meet and cheat here. And they're like, people are complaining, but they don't realize that this has happened before. And Iran built a pipeline that goes all the way through the country. So it comes out in another waterway where people can go through that's even wider. So, I mean, there's really no reason for this price of oil going up and the price of gas going up here in the United States. Now, the reason we're going after Iran is because they have nuclear capability and they have been threatening to use it. And they can launch a missile And they can launch a nuclear bomb about 2,500 miles, which would reach Great Britain. It would reach a lot of areas around there. And that's a little scary because they are always threatening people. They're always threatening to do this. They have nuclear capability. And they always say that they don't. They're always like, we don't have that. Well, what was that missile you just tested? What missile? I didn't see nothing. What? No, that wasn't us. That wasn't us. That was the United Arab Emirates. And, they're next to Saudi Arabia. They got the UAE over there. And these are a lot of countries that are starting to all get along with one another over there. And they don't like this either. They don't like these guys, man. So the only reason, again, that the oil is up is because they want to appease the investors. And you got these people out there, these companies, and they're all selfish and greedy, and they're corporations, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. Not a damn thing you can do about it. And if you get your electric car, well, the price of electricity is going to be going up real soon here, too. I don't know if you saw that. But, yeah, electricity's going up. Everything's going to go up. That's just the way it is. Now, there are so many people in Iran right now that are happy. There are people around the world that are thrilled. They're like, yes, yes, free us, because they feel like slaves over there, man. Especially the women. They really oppress the women. And one thing that disgusts me, I actually have seen people out there sticking up for Iran. These are the same people, and I use that word loosely. I should say dumbasses. I guess that's a nice way of saying it. They're out there saying no kings. No kings! No kings! We haven't had a king since 1776. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a nice podcast about that because the No Kings protest is coming up on the 28th, and I got a lot to say about them people. But anyway, they're out there and they say no kings, but then they get mad because we attacked a dictator. And we've killed a couple of their people. And it's been planned attacks. It's not just flying over and dropping a bomb on everybody and everything. They're going after certain people and certain groups, and they're doing a pretty darn good job of it, too, and I'm very proud of them for that. And the people are proud of them. Like I said, they're waving Persian flags. You got people waving Israeli flags over there. That's not allowed. That's not allowed in Iran, man. Those people probably died. Bless them for sticking up for what they believe in. I saw that and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because you won't even see that in America. But you see these no kings people out there. Now they're all about killing dictators and they're all for Iran. You're standing up for a terrorist nation that hates women. They treat them like dirt. It's in their books. They don't treat them good. That burqa's on wrong. They can beat you up. They can put you in jail. They can kill you, man. Your hijab's crooked. You're gone. I mean, seriously, there are some crazy laws over there, and it's sad. And now they're sticking up for these dictators. And they're calling Trump a king. Trump's not a king. Everything he's done. Oh, here's something, too. Trump attacked without congressional approval. Gee, I wonder if anybody else has ever attacked anybody without congressional approval. Who, Barack Obama? Oh, excuse me. He attacked people without congressional approval. No problem. He doesn't need it. And for the record, Trump didn't need congressional approval for what he did. He didn't skip anything. He followed the law. He did things right. Now you got these people out there protesting for a country that's killing their own people. Killing their own people. You got people protesting a country that kills people that protest. Phew, wrap your mind around that one, people. It's going to blow your little brain out. Okay. You're not allowed to protest there. You're protesting to protest against the... What? You're protesting the country that kills protesters. That is so stupid. They're sticking up for evil. Basically, that's what they're doing, man. It's just, And here's the thing, too. Persia used to get along with a lot of these countries until the Ayatollahs took over. Persia was good friends with Israel. They had good ties with Israel until the Ayatollahs took over because they hate Jews. And, sorry, they hate Israel. That's what everybody says nowadays. It's not Jews I hate. I hate Zionism and I hate Israel. Dude, that's Jews, okay? The only Jewish nation, the only Judah nation, the only Israeli nation, that's Jews. That's Zionism. But these people will be out there protesting tomorrow. I guarantee that, man. Now, where did Iran get the money for the nuclear capability? I didn't give them any. Most of the other countries around the world won't give them any money. They don't give them any aid. Yes, they make a lot of money off their oil, which they sell pretty cheap, by the way. But who gave them a lot of money? Well, I'll tell you who gave them a lot of money. So, they put out 1.38 million barrels a day of oil. And they get a lot of discounts on that. China gets most of it. And where's all this money comes from when they don't just get it on there? Because like I said, they give discounts. Well, I don't know if y'all remember, but a few years back there was this guy named Barack Hussein Obama. He got elected in America as a president. And, you know, he was like, people were like, well, and if you didn't like him, you were a racist because he was black, even though his mom was white. And he talked about his grandma being a typical white woman. And he said a lot of racist things against whites and other groups. He said a lot of bad stuff about Jews. And he talked about his Muslim heritage, but then he turned back and said, no, I'm a Christian. Yeah, you went to a Christian church, but your daddy was a Muslim. Your brother said you were a Muslim, and I believe those people more than I do you, boy. I don't like Hussein Obama. Never did. He did nothing good for this country. What did he do? One day, in the middle of the night, about 4 a.m, a shipment of cash went into Iran from Obama, United States from Obama. Anyway, it was $400 million in this pallet. Big old pallet of cash. And all the cash wasn't American money. It was American money and all other currencies from around the world. And we delivered it to them. And we got busted. Somebody ratted. I don't know who, but kudos to that man for stepping up and knowing something wasn't right about this. It took the media several days to come up because it was big news, man. They're like, where'd this money come from? What's it for? We want to know. And people, this is back like some of the media still actually cared. And they wanted to know what it was for. They couldn't give an answer. They took days for them to come up with an answer. And they said, oh, it was a part of, we had this cash frozen because they did some bad stuff. So we froze all this cash all around the world and we collected it for them. And I'm like, and people are like, oh, I understand that. No, you don't. No, you don't. How are you going to go and get this money from all over the world? Well, we got it from a bank. You didn't get it from one bank, people. You went to a lot of different places and got all this money, and it was a payoff. They were using this for their nuclear capability. $400 million cash. It took days for the mainstream media to come up with lies to cover it up. They always lied to cover up Obama. Like I said, if you said anything bad about the crap he did, you were considered a racist. Even though most of these people that would call me and others a racist were flat out racist, living in 99% white communities, and guarantee they don't even have a black fake friend on Facebook or Instagram. That's how, crackerized they are, man. Anyway, this was part of a $1.7 billion cash payoff. They got caught. And they were able to keep doing this because of the lie. What was that payoff for? What did we get out of it? Nobody knows to this day what we got out of it. Why are we giving them our money? No, it was money frozen from around the world. And come here, Michelle. Put the wiener away. Anyway, what did we get? We got nothing for it. They grew their nuclear capability. They grew it stronger. And then when this one old guy who couldn't even speak a complete sentence, who's still going around trying to speak, and oh man, woe to his family for letting him do this. Joey Biden got in there. Joey Biden. Same thing happened. But they come right out and said it was frozen assets. Frozen where? Okay, a lot of that money was Chinese money. So if they have good connections with the Chinese, why is the money frozen? Some of it was Middle Eastern money. They still get along with some of those guys and deal with them on a daily basis. Why is the money frozen? The American money. Why was the money frozen? Why was it frozen, and where was it frozen at? Who was in charge of the money? $16 billion in so-called frozen assets. 16 billion with a B. Bullshit with a big BS. I don't like this, man. So then this was frozen assets. This was just a couple years ago, people. Now, and when it was all said and done, because he paid them $6 billion to get some hostages released. And what he did is he released a bunch of their terrorist hostages that we had here in America that had tried to kill people. And he gave them, Biden did all this, gave them more money in little sanctions here and there, gave them like not just cash, but machinery and things like that. The total came to $50 billion. And that's why their nuclear capability has grown so much. That's why they are a huge threat to the world. That's why America is shutting them down. That's why people should be a little scared of them, because of the government and what they do. The people have no freedom over there. They're scared of them. They don't be able to. They couldn't do a podcast like this. Matter of fact, social media, a lot of social media is banned in these countries like that. They won't allow it. They don't allow a lot of things. They censor the TV shows. You have to watch certain things. You've got the news comes on, and it's not like regular news. It's Al Jazeera news sticking up for all of them. And that's why we have somebody who's stepping up to these guys. And then you have these people out there say, well, he said there's not going to be any wars. Well, you know what? I would never say that, because you never know what's going to happen. Yes, he doesn't want to start any wars. There isn't a war. There is a sanction against them right now. And I hope that more comes out of it. And I hope Iran falls and they get good government and the people are free there. Because right now they're scared. Living under Sharia law, and I know a lot of you might not know what that is, but look it up. And don't just look it up from the politically correct point of view. Look it up for the real point of view, people. It's not good. And it hurts a lot of people, man. It's keeping these people down. That's why the gas prices are up, though. Not because of Iran. Iran really doesn't control that with us because of these greedy-ass corporations, and that needs to stop, and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of these corporate. This is why they took Teddy Roosevelt down and wouldn't let him be president again. He broke all the corporations up. You've heard me talk about him before. That man broke the corporations up in 1913. They wouldn't let him be president. What happened? The corporations took over. The Rockefellers took over. The Great Depression happened. Oh, man. America, you've lost your way. The businesses run everything. The corporations run everything. The government runs anything and everything. You got all these people in government that are millionaires. Trump come in as a billionaire. He's not going to leave a billionaire. He's going to lose money like he did the first time. You got most of these politicians coming in there as, you know, they come in with good wages behind them because they usually come from privilege. And then they leave billionaires, multimillionaires. And I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi's made some money off this with her husband investing, because they're the ones that control this, people. And they're the ones that shouldn't be in there. We don't need these people in there. Oh, and for the record, no kings? No kings? Well, how about we limit the terms on people? You got senators and congressmen in there 40, 50 years. Tell me there's no kings. Give me a freaking break. We need to free Iran for the Iranian people. We need to free them so they're free. I am all for that. And I hope this works in our favor. And if we have to pay a little extra for gas, remember what I told you, where it's coming from. We need to fight these corporations. But not enough people will, because most people are complacent. They're complacent with their lives. Me, I'll get in trouble for saying stuff. I always do. But I'm going to keep saying it, because the voice is all I have right now. And you know what? I will fight for you, and I will fight for Iran. I want Iran free. I'll stick up for them. I'll stick up for all of you good people out there. Keep tuning into The Real Deal, where we keep it real all the time. Peace.